Hello everyone, PreXoob64 here, and welcome to the 1 year anniversary Q&A special for Nick's Mind. Let's get to the answers straight away. I got a lot more than I was expecting. I was expecting a grand total of 5 questions, by the way. So thanks to everyone who actually posted a question. So thanks everyone. Okay, so the first question is, how do I choose the background music for my different films? Well, you see, I kind of think vague musical vibes for a scene. Listen around for something I think would go well with that sort of vibe and scene I'm going for. And when I finally thought, oh, this is a good song that'll go well with this, I just put it in. So, say for episode 11, I was looking for a punk rock song that would go well with a fighting scene. So I kind of listened around and thought, hold on, what's Infected by Bad Religion like? And so I gave it a listen. I watched the footage with the song playing in the background. I was like, yep, this is the song. I'm going to put it in. And so I did. A slightly different process that goes into my choices of music is what you would reasonably hear in that specific scenario. So, take the first Liam Hardley comedy sketch. I needed music that vaguely sound dramatic news-y. And so I just looked around for samples that vaguely fit that sort of scenario. And obviously I found one that I liked and proceeded to use. Another minor aspect when it comes to choosing music is what the character would listen to. So, say for example, Nick listens to his punk rock, whereas Grandma would probably listen to classical or something like that. And of course, we can't forget the most important excuse, I just feel like cramming in the music into my videos. Yeah. Alright, next question. Okay, so this person gave me 3 questions, which are, why did I choose Delta Particles? What other games or mods would I make a Mind series out of? And how would I say Nick is different from Freeman or other Mind series protagonists? Okay, so why did I choose Delta Particles? Well, there's a couple of reasons why. The main one being it was easy to just get my hands on, and it was just the second game on my list of games I could do after Sonic's Mind got cancelled. At the moment, I've got my eyes on Half-Life Zen Warrior and Half-Life Herbicide for Nick's Mind directly. Outbreak by Beef Bacon, which is part of the Map Labs Halloween Horror 7 map pack. And Swelter. And this is more of an inevitability, They Hunger 2 and 3. Now, what makes Nick different from other Mind series protagonists? Well, for starters, Nick is Australian, so he's got that under his belt. Nick actually has a friend, compared to Freeman, who doesn't seem to really have any friends. Another main thing is that Nick somewhat pays attention to what's being said to him compared to Freeman for most of the series. Freeman is more likely to just completely disregard what's being said to him. Another major difference is that Nick actually talks to people. Like he's more likely to say, hello, how are you? Whereas Freeman would try to avoid you as much as possible. And if he can't, he, again, disregards everything you say to him. In fact, if mid to late series Freeman's mind doesn't go anything by, he's probably just going to shoot you on sight if you jump him. Whereas Nick, as far in this point of the series anyway, he would probably go, "What the hell are you doing? I could have shot you right now." If that makes any sense. Another difference is that Nick is mentally stronger, I would say. Freeman gradually goes more and more insane over time. Doesn't help with the concussion he gets around episode 40 or whatever it was. So I guess Nick has that going for him as well. And those, I would say, are the major differences between Freeman and Nick. I guess there is a few very minor things, but those are minor things. Alright, next questions. Why the longer runtime for The Lone Survivor's Mind compared to Nick's Mind? When will the next episode come out for either series? Would you ever bring back Sonic's Mind? And what games would you like to see get a Mind series? As for what games or mods I would like to see, Grand Theft Auto 3 is one of my first ones that come to my mind. I don't know why, I just think it would make for a really good Mind series. Another game I would like to see get a Mind series is any of the old Sonic games, especially Sonic CD. In fact, if anyone's watching this and they want to make their own version of Sonic's Mind, you can have my logo, just credit me for it. Hell, if you really want, I could be the voice of Eggman. Another game I think could work as a Mind series is Grand Theft Auto Chinatown Wars, though you are gonna need to hire a full-on cast for the whole 10-ish characters in that game. So at the rate, it's just gonna be like a fan dub or something like that. Doesn't help that legally there are only 3 ways to actually play the game. But that's someone else's issue to deal with, not mine. As for mods, Half-Life Escape 2.0. In fact, out of the 3 mods I'll be mentioning, this one's probably the easiest one to get your hands on, as it's kind of like Delta Particles, where it's on Steam for free. So, yeah. Diffusion. This Half-Life mod is basically its own game, so I guess if you wanted to do a Half-Life mod that isn't set in the Half-Life universe, but still has that science facility stuff, Diffusion has got you covered. Entropy Zero Uprising. I got you there for a second, didn't I? If you like the Combine aesthetic, but you don't like Entropy Zero or its sequel, Entropy Zero Uprising should have you covered. In fact, I would say it's probably the easier mod to make a Mind series out of, as the protagonist barely talks in the mod, unlike Bad Cop in the main Entropy Zero duology. Will I bring back Sonic's Mind? No, not happening. It was DOA anyway. Episode 3 of The Lone Survivor's Mind is coming out real soon. In fact, by the time this video is up, it's probably already out. As for Nick's Mind, expect something by Christmas, at the earliest. Okay, so the reason why The Lone Survivor's Mind has a far longer running time is sort of... I'm going for realism of where the protagonist would stop and have a break. And as I'm sure you can see in the episodes, in the game, if you're there realistically, it really would be those spots you could reasonably take a break. My good friend Devilord sent me this. I shall read it. I'm just here to mess with you and also remind people your birthday was not long ago. Perhaps you'd like to attend the gala with me. If you know, you know. Am I not wanted N? Ditto. Nori? Also ditto. What? And again. It's been fun, and also, that's sarcasm. Are the Sorcerermen from Adelaide underrated? Yes. Will The Wolf Among Us 2 actually come out in 2027? If I'm being honest, I've lost all hope for this game actually coming out. In fact, I will go as far as to say we would be lucky if we get an announcement in 2027 that the game's been cancelled. Shankrock, the creator of Farrell's Mind, asks, if my Nick Farrell were to meet his Nick Farrell, what would they say to each other? Okay, so based on the fact that your Nick Farrell seems to be a lot nicer and even slightly more intelligent in certain cases, whereas mine is a lot more aggressive and impulsive. I can vaguely imagine a conversation between them going like this. Oh, bloody hell, why is there so many goddamn aliens in here? Wait, what? Who are you? I'm Nick Farrell. What? No, that's impossible. There can only be one Nick Farrell, and that is me. So I'm gonna give you one chance to give me your name in 2 seconds. I'm Nick Farrell, mate, and I'm gonna give you 2 seconds to calm down. Okay, that's 2 seconds. Nick Farrell, that is my name. It is more than possible people can have the same name. You're not even Australian enough to be me, so you're obviously an alien in disguise, so take off that helmet right now! Okay, fine, I will take off my helmet just to show that I am human. There you go. What do you think now, fake me? Oh my god, you got the same mug as me. No! Are you done yet? Okay, that's enough of that. I don't know how accurate that is to your characterization or planned characterization, but there you go. That's what I imagine on my end. Maybe you could do like a reply joke video with a more accurate depiction of your character. That would be interesting to see. Or hell, if we actually are going to go with this crossover idea that we've vaguely been commenting to each other about, yeah, we can write it out if, in some way. Okay, so for some reason I got this question in a Discord DM, and I'm going to include it. If Nick had a favorite celebrity, who would it be? And do I think Nick would actually get along with his favorite celebrity? If Nick actually had one, it would be Dexter Holland, the lead singer of The Offspring. As for if they would get along, I do see Nick forcibly making himself nicer to actually try and get along with him. Why did I pick Delta Particles as the game I wanted to use for a Mine series? And why did I call it Nick's Mine and not Farrell's Mine? Okay, I think someone already asked me that, but I am going to give another reason why. It's because it's self-contained from Half-Life, if that makes sense. So that kind of gave me room to play around with the Half-Life universe without having to worry about continuity errors or whatever. Why Nick's Mine instead of Farrell's Mine? I did that for 2 main reasons. Okay, well, 2.5, sort of. First main reason is I felt Farrell's Mind sounded too similar to Freeman's Mind. The other main reason is I felt Nick's Mind sounded a lot better than Farrell's Mind. As in, it's a lot quicker to say Nick's Mind than Farrell's Mind. The half a reason is it's also easier to type out Nick's Mind than Farrell's Mind. I would say this half a reason is slightly more relevant to me because when I had this logo, I could just barely fit more than 5 words in an episode title. So there was no chance I was going to try and cram in Farrell's Mind into that. Completely useless trivia time. Did you know? The reason the third logo exists is because I felt the logo was far too blocky, and I realized that the 4 bubble was way too small. What are your biggest inspirations that are non-mind related for Nick's Mind and the Lone Survivor's Mind? Do you have a list of your top 5 or 10 Mind series, and would you name them? Why is it all Redgrave? Wait, it isn't Redgrave? Where is Redgrave? He's dead! Thanks for the answers. Here are a couple of non-mind related things that also have inspired Nick's Mind and the Lone Survivor's Mind. And to an extent, my other stuff. Peep Show, Black Book, Spaced, Frontline, lots of Weird Al Yankovic, The Simpsons, Futurama, Doctor Who, The Thick of It, and the first season of Mad Dogs. As for that top 5 or 10 list, here's a top 13 list, plus a joke mention. Do keep in mind that the number 2 and 3 spot are like interchangeable for me. Because why not? Yes. Don't know. Probably. And you're welcome. Okay, this one I received during a live stream from JB Sonic. Yeah, you will get a shoutouts. Shoutouts to JB Sonic. And that seems to be all the questions I've had time for today. Thanks for everyone who typed in the comments, or in certain other cases, asked me through other means for the questions. And now to fulfill the promise of the other half of the video's title, PreXNoob now has a Discord server dedicated to the channel. Just like everybody else apparently. Already now is a sponsor. So if you really like my stuff, or want to take the opportunity to talk to me through online means, or you just want another server under your belt, yeah, feel free to join. We got factions, in-character streams, IGA, what's annoying me that I feel the need to write it out, stuff dedicated to Nick's Mind, The Lone Survivor's Mind, and other Mind series, and even discuss the Max Connected Universe. And other stuff that I'm not going to tell you. And the only way to find out what they are is through word of mouth, or one really quick way, which is to join. But how do you join, you may ask? Well, simple. There will be a link in the description and the pinned comment of this video, and eventually later on, a link in the channel description whenever I remember to update that. So yeah, that's how you join. Just click on the link. And don't worry about being the first, there's already 3 other people here. Plus, friends and friends of friends. So yeah, feel free to join. Thanks for watching. Goodbye. Good night. Good morning. Good evening. Wherever you are in the world. Good other times of the day. Yeah, that.